sales hasn't changed in 100 years or more. We still have to make a connection with their prospect. No matter how much knowledge they have or get on Google, a sale doesn't happen until you make a connection with the person sitting across the table from you. And that's where I say the magic happens.
You are now listening to the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, the Going North podcast. I'm your host, best-selling author, and Maxwell Leadership Certified Trainer, DomBrightmon. And you're going to be getting some tips and techniques to advance yourself coming up next. Today's episode is sponsored by book number 2 from DomBrightmon, Stay the Course, The Elite Performer's 7 Secret Keys to Sustainable Success. It is the field guide to help unleash the elite performer that is inside of you. Cop it today on Amazon.com or heading over to DomBrightmon.com and snag it in book, ebook, and audio book, so that way you can take it on the go and get yourself on the go to your northbound success. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as the Going North podcast, we got another super special, awesome human for you today. That's right, indeed. And the good news is today's guest is actually a DMV author, baby. That's right, indeed, because my man is doing all sorts of wonderful stuff. Because I think we actually first connected a few years ago, thanks to Matt McDarby, who was episode 27 of all episodes, and now it's like 600 plus episodes later. He's finally joined the business of immortality himself, because today's guest is an entrepreneur, the president of EWC Consultants, chief sales coach, and a keynote speaker. So let's give it up for the TE. We're not talking about the tight end, but we're talking about the one and only Thomas Ellis. How you doing today, Thomas?
I'm doing fantastic, Dom. How are you doing?
Man, I am doing great. I'm doing great. Glad it's finally happening. Finally happening. It felt like it took freaking ever.
Hey, it took a while, but listen, somebody told me all good things come to those who wait. So we've been patiently waiting for each other. So I'm happy to be here.
That's right, indeed. Happy to have you here, indeed. So, my goodness, as you know, with all introductions, they're not allowed to be 970 days long, and I probably only covered maybe 97 seconds. So, my filling listeners in of how you got to where you are today since your first time on the show.
Sure, Dom. So I am a sales trainer, coach, been doing sales training, coaching for many, many years. Started out in corporate America as a sales manager, then a director of sales for a large telecom company. Built a sales organization that consisted of 6 sales managers and 60 sales reps. And we did a measly $880 million in revenue per year. After that endeavor, I've always had a passion for helping others. So I started my consulting business where I work with a lot of small business owners and small sales teams and helping them to develop a sales process that's easy and simple to deliver. And that's my story.
Yeah. And he's sticking to it like Gorilla Glue. You love to see
Yeah.
it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. And heck, like getting into sales and then staying in it and then helping to train others like that definitely takes a lot of guts and a lot of reinvention, man. So my goodness, what helped you to really stay relevant in this changing society where sometimes the client may be more equipped than you thanks to Google and everything else?
Well, and that is a great question because, people, sales hasn't changed in 100 years or more. We still have to make a connection with their prospect, no matter how much knowledge they have or get on Google or everywhere else. A sale doesn't happen until you make a connection with the person sitting across the table from you. And that's where I say the magic happens because if you have no connection with that person. The old adage is people buy from people who they like and add value and trust. And so we need to make sure that when we're talking to clients that, they like that. I recently wrote a book last year. The title of the book is called BUD, Better, Unique, and Desirable. In that book, I talk about some easy and simple strategies on how you can become better, unique, and desirable. And Dom, everybody that we deal with wants to work with people that are better, unique, and desirable.
That's right, indeed. Everybody wants their best bud, right?
Absolutely.
That's right, indeed. That better, unique, and desirable. That's right, indeed. You love to see it. You love to see it, indeed. And hey, I guess that kind of goes with the, what is it? I think it's the Formula ADA, if I'm not mistaken. The attention, interest, desire, action. So I guess that
Yeah, Ada.
ties
Yeah,
into that.
yeah, yeah. And all these sales processes and acronyms. I've taken a lot of training courses throughout my 35 years plus career in sales. Wow. I just know 35 year plus years. And I've been in a lot of training classes over the years. And I've kind of taken all of the everything I've learned and put it into practice by working with small business owners who I give them the training that I received, and I mix it all up and give it to them in a manner that they can go out and execute on some simple things like, how do I have a great first appointment? How do I make the first good impression? Because in that first meeting, you only have about 30 minutes to get that prospect to say, hey, this is some good stuff. Let's continue the conversation. And so during that 30 minutes, we have to be crisp. We have to be on point. We have to be able to let that prospect know that I understand the issues that you have. And I think I might have some solutions to those issues, and ask them if they're interested in learning about those solutions. And then you set up your next meeting.
There you go. There you go, indeed. So right about that, the definitely got to be crisp posture, ready for that first meeting, indeed, and definitely getting in front of folks, indeed. So my goodness, so finally putting all your wonderful wisdom and knowledge experience to a book. So what was it like finally getting the book done? What was your writing process behind it?
You know, COVID was the spearhead to this. I mean, I had always wanted to write a book. I've talked about writing a book. People said, Thomas, you have so much knowledge. You should write a book. So during COVID, I started writing my book, and I've taken everything that I've learned over the 35 plus years and targeted to mainly small businesses. Right? I have a passion for helping small businesses grow because they're the fabric of this country. And not many people spend time helping small businesses develop their sales processes and strategies. So I started writing the book, and I had a lot of content because I've been writing blog posts, and if you look at my LinkedIn page, I have probably have like 85 articles that I've written on LinkedIn, and I've done podcasts, workshops, and seminars. So I took all of that and put it into a book that talks about the beginning of the sales process, from prospecting to making the appointment, what to do in the appointment, how to follow up, how to handle those famous objections that people get all the time, and how to be basically better, unique, and desirable. And it was a fun process. I'm proud of the way the book turned out, and all is well.
Sweet. Will it ever be on audio?
So you know what? Interestingly enough, I looked at audio this year, and audio is quite expensive. So my book has been out about a year, about 18 months now, and I've looked at some audio options. One of the options I looked at that I was close to actually doing was, I met a company that does artificial intelligence audio,
Oh,
and I had contracted with them and everything, and was going to put it on Amazon, but Amazon no longer allows you to have artificial intelligent voices on their platform. So I had to kind of scrap that idea and go back to the drawing board on that. But that's on the radar. But so the other thing that I'm looking at doing is starting to develop online sales academy. And this sometime in the next 6 months, I'm going to be launching my first class online on sales. So I'm very excited about that.
That's what I'm talking about indeed. That's what I'm talking about indeed. Get folks in that class so they can learn some of the sales. So that way they can make some of that paper. That's right indeed. That's right indeed.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, my goodness, man. So, since you've been in sales, I'm pretty sure there have been some setbacks along the way. So, what would you consider your biggest setback that actually set you up for success?
So one of my biggest setbacks was as a sales director for a telecom company. We had a restructure, as they call it, and I was moved back to a manager's level instead of as a director. I managed 5 or 6 teams. We had a restructure, and I was moved back to a sales manager. That was kind of a little bit of a setback, but within 6 months after that, I got back to being a director of sales and continued on my journey. But with everything that we do in life and in business, you're going to have setbacks. You just need to look at those in a positive light and to figure out how do I get back on track.
There you go. That's right indeed. Yeah, those darn restructures. Yeah, it's like, yep. It's like, yeah, we're getting a little too close to ceiling with this game of Tetris, so we're just gonna put this piece in the middle. All of you are gonna just fall out of the company, out of the screen for a moment. Well, probably permanently. Like, it's like, it's like, oh, good luck, buddy. It's like, oh, darn. So it's like, yeah. So you're actually in the right field to help folks out. Because the good thing about sales is the fact that, hey, you could really recover quickly when you find a new company or strike out on your own since you already have the skill and the ability built in. It's just knowing which product you want to sell and really go for.
Yep. And at the end of the day, I work with a lot of different clients and different industries, and the sales process is the sales process. It's the sales process. It doesn't change whether you're selling to Office Depot, to IBM, to the federal government, to local government. The sales process is relatively the same. And that process is simply you have to go out and find a prospect to talk to. You have to make an appointment with that prospect. You have to do your homework before you get there so you understand who the company is, who the person is, what understanding you have of their industry, their business. Then you have to have the meeting with them to really understand what issues do they want to fix today, right? What do they want to fix right now? And I call those the big issues because if we focus on helping people fix their big issues, then they're going to make a purchase. And I don't tell people that you have to sell them because I haven't sold anybody anything in 35 years. I help people buy. I help people make a buying decision in my favor. So I help them. Now, in order for me to help them, okay, I need to understand what they may need help with and if they are able to afford to fix a problem that they desperately want to fix. And that process doesn't change whether I'm selling to Office Depot, the federal government, state and local government, IBM, SAIC. It really doesn't matter. The only thing that may be different there is the sales process varies. So you could go from a 3 month sales cycle to it could take a year and a half to close that business. And that's all relative to the potential sale.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about indeed. That's what I'm talking about indeed. That's right indeed. So just having that right foundation, it sounds like having the right framework.
Absolutely. I mean, because once you have the basic framework, the basic tenets of sales, the very basics, it's repeatable. You don't have to be complicated. I tell people, a lot of clients I work with, their expertise is not sales. Their expertise is in the operation or the development of the actual product, but they don't come to the table with a sales background. And so I help them to understand that, the very basics of selling, and that you can repeat this process over and over and over again. It's not rocket science. It's just understanding, how to have conversations, right? You know, at the end of the day, I tell people this: sales is nothing more than a bunch of great conversations with the same person over a period of time. And that's all sales is: conversations, the same person over a period of time. And then people go, "Oh, wow, Thomas, I got it now." I say, "Yeah, because we're not selling anything, we're helping people buy." So when I'm working with clients in the workshops, the things that I have to reiterate to people over and over again is that remove the word sales and put the word help, and you'll feel a lot better about it. And you're gonna, because think about this, Tom. If you're at the corner and somebody walks up to you and says, "I need help," what are we gonna do? We're gonna try and help them. But if somebody walks up to you and say, "Hey, I want to sell you this," we run. you know, we run because nobody wants to be sold. But people love to buy. So our job is to help them buy. And that's as simple as it can possibly be.
Amen to that. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Yeah, that's so right because it reminds me back in the day when if you go into Walmart, if you go near the entertainment section, game over because they have the Comcast or Verizon people over there. It's like don't make eye contact. Make sure you go an hour early before walk around.
It's too, and see, that reminds me of, people first experience with a sales professional is when they buy a car, right?
Hmm.
That's the first major purchase that people make, is a car. And people don't understand the dynamics of the car dealership and the car industry. But the reason why those salespeople are the way that they are is because they're drilled in daily about the data. The data says that when you walk into a dealership, you have interest in buying a car, and if I let you walk out that door, the chance of you coming back is less than 10%. So if the leadership is telling you this every meeting, don't let them leave, don't let them leave. What do? Don't let them leave, right? And so that's when those tactics come into play, because they know if you leave, you're not coming back. But that's not all salespeople, right?
Hmm.
Most salespeople are consultative salespeople. They're not the hardcore salespeople. They have, like I said earlier, they help you buy.
There you go. That's right indeed. Helping folks to buy indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Just giving them that good old helping hand. That's right indeed. Sometimes a helpful push. Let me stop. Not a
Absolutely,
helpful.
but before we do that, we have to truly understand what their issues or problems are that they want to fix today. And I keep saying today. What's urgent? Because what I find is when I'm working with clients is that they want to talk about areas that they're comfortable talking about to prospects, which may not be of importance to that client and urgent enough for them to think about using their services. We have to concentrate on the big issues. What are they willing to spend money on to get fixed today so it can improve the operation of their company. And those are the type of questions and conversations we need to be having, because if you have a roof that has a hole in it, okay, there's urgency to get a new roof, right? If you have a roof that has a few shingles missing off of it, and somebody walks up, a roofer contractor comes and says, "Wow, it looks like you need a new roof." You say, "No, I need a few shingles." And you know what? I don't have any leaks, so I'm going to let that wait. But if you have a hole in that roof, there's urgency there, and you're going to buy a roof within the next few days.
Yep, that's true indeed. Because hey, if the holes in the roof, it's game over. Like, nope, can't have nature come in the house like that.
That's right.
Nah. That's right indeed, especially if it's winter. Be like, oh no, nature is really coming in. Like, don't. So my goodness, so since you've been on a few interviews in the past, is there a question that you wish folks would ask you more often when you're being interviewed?
What's my passion, right? What are you passionate about? And so that's a question that people don't ask. So since you didn't ask, I'm gonna tell you.
Yay.
So number one is that I'm passionate about helping others be successful. That's why I do what I do. That's why I will continue to do what I do, is because I want to help people be successful. I want them to be as successful as they want to be. Number two, I'm passionate about playing golf. I'm a golf junkie. I mean, this is coming around on my type of season now. March, April, May. Oh man, I'm like really, really excited about the changing weather, um, and the opportunity to play golf. So those are things that I'm passionate about.
Ah, there you go. There you go, indeed. And here you also love mentoring the youth too, as well. So, what would you consider one of the greatest gifts in return, whether it's a lesson learned or something that you actually polished as a result after mentoring some of the youth?
So one of the things that I've done in helping youth is that I had a gentleman that I was working with, and he was typical, 18 to 20-year old, not sure the direction they wanted to actually go. Smart, brilliant kid, but just needed some coaching, some guidance. And they were going to this IT tech school. And so we would meet and talk about, well, what do you want to do? And give them advice and guidance on things that they should be doing versus things that they should not be doing. So this gentleman not only graduated from this program, but he's working at one of the largest law firms in DC. And the proud moment there is, I think I helped him or guided him or supported him in doing the next best thing for him, and he's set up to have a great life. I talk to a lot of young folks. I say young folks, I mean, shoot, on LinkedIn all the time. We may have phone conversations just to be encouraging and supporting their efforts, because I think we don't do that enough of encouraging and supporting. We're so quick to be critical, but we all, even myself, need encouragement and support to keep it moving. And every chance I get to share that, one of my favorite words is stay encouraged.
There you go. Stay encouraged indeed. Stay encouraged indeed. So, my goodness, a fun question for you since you finally got your book out. If your wonderful book, BUD, Better, Unique, and Desirable, if that book were a food, what would it be and why?
If that food, wow, that's a question nobody's ever asked me. So let me pause it. So if my book was a food, what would it be? I want to say a lobster. And the reason why I would say a lobster is because it's kind of a delicacy seafood. It tastes good, and it's one of those special treats. So I kind of consider my book a special treat for people that want to learn about sales that are not salesy. That when they read the book, not only does it help you in sales, but most people that have read my book says, Thomas, this book's not only about sales, but there's life stories in that book. Talks about life. This people have told me that doesn't only apply to sales, Thomas. You can apply a lot of principles that you talk about in that book to life. And I didn't think about that until I went back and read it. I said, oh wow, they're absolutely right.
So I'm talking about. Hey, one of the rare answers too. Folks rarely you mention their book as a lobster. Sometimes they go down to sushi wrap. Ah man, it's a whole lobster. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. You're getting the prime choice right here,
There
dangummit.
you go.
That's right. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. It's got that protective shell of the cover, and the inside's that good meat for you. The meat for your career. That's right.
There you go. That's it.
Oh man. So we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive, and that is if you were to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but you're still in the current year, what advice would you give to yourself?
Wow, you asked some great questions. So, what would the advice I would give myself at 25 years old? And there are several things I would tell self. Number one, surround yourself with people that are going to help and encourage you along the journey. Number two would be make sure that you're not the smartest person in your group. Number three, be more conscious of how you treat people. And number four would be embrace the challenge.
There you go. That's right. Embrace the challenges, y'all. That's right, indeed. Embrace that challenge, indeed. It'll make you stronger, make you better for it. That's right. Especially when you get around those right people that'll encourage you. Especially if they got brilliant minds on top of that, too. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. So you got some wisdom from the good man himself, the Thomas Ellis, indeed. So for those who need to keep in contact with you and keep up with all the stuff that you're doing, what's the best way for folks to do so?
So there are several ways. Number one, obviously, you can follow me on LinkedIn. That's how you and I met. Look up Thomas Ellis. The second way would be to look at my website, tellissalescoach.com. That's all one word, tellissalescoach.com. Another way, if you're really bold, is I'm going to give you my phone number, 301 343 0001. That's still a great way to reach me. And the fourth way would be through my email, tellis at ewcconsultants.com or at your local golf course. Nah, I'm just kidding. on Saturday afternoon about 10 o'clock.
There you go. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So there you have it, folks. Reach out to the good man Thomas himself. That's right indeed. Terrific Thomas himself. He's gave you all sorts of ways to contact with him. That's right indeed. Can contact and connect with this man right here. Help you to advance in your sales. Indeed, heck, even help your organization as well. Bonus points if you can supply him with the ultra super special awesome pair of golf clubs. Indeed, or heck, even a wonderful coupon or a year a year's worth of coupons to the golf course. It'll be all 4 seasons. So my goodness, any parting words before we close up shop?
Hey, Dom, first of all, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be on the podcast and to share some of my nuggets with the audience. I just want to encourage everybody who's listening to this podcast to, keep doing what you are doing. And if you're running into any challenges trying to get to the next level, find an expert that can help you get to that next level. You will it will be well worth it for you because we we can't do this by ourselves. We need help, and you can get help. And I mean, find experts that can help you with your next endeavor. Now, I kind of tell people, I said, if if you have an air conditioning problem in your house, you don't go to the car mechanic to fix the air conditioner in your house, right? You go to the air conditioning specialist. So whatever challenges you may have, find the expert that can help you. That's going to be genuinely interested in helping you move forward. And those are my wisdom nuggets in closing out.
Thanks a bunch for investing your time by listening to this wonderful podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you really did, do me a solid and leave a review or share this episode with at least 3 people that you think would get some value out of today's content. Advance others to advance yourself.